Hello, hi, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Rise and Maths Classes. I am Priyansh and I welcome all our viewers and subscribers to our channel. In today's video, we are going to study about NCERT Science Chapter 6 of Biology stream titled Life Process. So, let's start. So, as we have to discuss in this chapter about life process. So what are life process? Life process are the basic maintenance of human or any other organism to live their life in a proper way. So in this chapter life process we have to discuss about the four main process of human, that is respiration, transpiration, nutrition and excretion. Let's start with a basic knowledge of all these processes. Now let's start with our first topic, that is nutrition. In nutrition part, we are going to learn it in plants and in animals. So basically what is nutrition? The process by which any organism provide energy to itself is nutrition. So let's start the nutrition in plant. So as you all know, plants cannot walk. So how they make their food? So in the chemistry part, we have studied a chemical reaction. So here you can see that I have written CO2, that is carbon dioxide, plus H2O, that is water, in the presence of sunlight will give C6H12O6. It is a chemical representation of glucose plus O2, that is oxygen. So in this chemical reaction is in the terms of nutrition in plant, and the process is known as photosynthesis. Now what is this process? Photosynthesis is the process by which a plant or any plant make their own food in the presence of sunlight with the help of water and carbon dioxide. It releases oxygen and some amount of energy in the form of glucose, or as we can see in the form of fruit it gives. So what is this process? In this process, a tree or a plant has roots which absorbs water and some minerals with the root hairs. This root hairs, the absorb water from the roots transported to many parts of the trees, that is leaves, stems, branches, and basically the fruit, or we can say that the glucose we have to make. So this water and mineral is transferred by the two main tissues in plant, which is known as xylem and phloem, as we studied in the previous class also. Now with the help of xylem and phloem, it is transferred to many of the, like the stem of the plant, branches, leaves, and basically fruits. I think this much you have understand. Now the water transferred to the leaf. In leaf, the green color pigment, while a leaf is green and after it dries, why its color changes into red? So I will get this answer. In the leaf, a particle or a chemical substance is present which is known as chlorophyll. This has a green color pigment which gives green color to a leaf. And when this is not present in a leaf, we can say that the leaf is dead or it has no work to us. No, now in leaf, the exchange of gases, that is carbon dioxide and oxygen, takes place. It takes carbon dioxide from the nature and releases oxygen. So it is also an important part for us that it reduces the carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere and increases oxygen level. Now, in animal, or we can say that in human beings. In human beings, the nutrition process takes place with the help of digestion or the process of digestion. So what is the process of digestion? So as we all eat food, so we chew the complex compound into simpler form so that it can easy to swallow it. As we all know, in our mouth there are a gland that is known as salivary gland, which releases saliva time to time in the process of nutrition. So the saliva mixes with the food we eat and makes it easier to swallow from our mouth with the help of esophagus, or we can say that the food pipe. The food is transferred to our stomach. In the stomach, with the help of pancreas, bile juices are excreted. These bile juices mix up with food and help in the proper digestion of the food. From here, the food is transferred to the small intestine. Here, the small intestine absorbs the required minerals, and after the absorption of all the minerals, it is transferred to the bigger intestine. Bigger intestine absorbs the bile juices and the excess amount of water, and through the help of anus and rectum, unrequired or waste product is removed, which is the part of excretion. So for nutrition part, we have only in nutrition in plant and nutrition in animal. Now we are going to study about the mode of nutrition. Now our topic is mode of nutrition. Mode of nutrition by which our organism or plant and animal take or digest its food. So basically it has two kinds, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophics are the animals which make their food by their own self, like plants. We are not like we are cutting vegetables and making our food by ourselves. It's not like that. We are in the kind of heterotrophic. We are depends on plants that they will provide us vegetable. So heterotrophics are the plant and animal which depends upon some another plant or animal for their food. So let's start with autotrophic. Autotrophic has two kinds, photoautotrophic and chemosynthetic. So as you can see here a word photo. So in photoautotrophs, it is a kind of plant which use sunlight to make their food, or we can say that this kinds of autotrophics use the process of photosynthesis. So phototrophs uses photosynthesis to make their food. In chemosynthetic, as synthetic are, we know that in fiber, synthetic are the man-made fibers. So, or in the other word, we can say that it uses sunlight energy, and this chemosynthetic does not use sunlight energy. It makes its food without using the sunlight, or we can say that it does not do the process of photosynthesis. Now we came to the heterotrophic side. Heterotrophic having three kinds: saprophyte, parasite and holozoite. Parasite having also two: total parasite and semi-parasite. Now we start with saprophyte. Saprophyte are the microorganisms that grow easily anywhere with some of their mode of nutrition, or we can say that some of the requirement it need to survive. So let's take an example. Saprophyte has a very best example of fungi and bacteria, as in the rainy season where the water is collected, a green, blue-greenish plant-like structure forms. So that is fungi. It only needs a collection or a pond-type structure of water to survive. Parasites. Parasites are the we can say that parasites are the species that depends upon, or we can say that it can eat the flesh of the dead and decaying animal or dead and decaying plant also. So let's take an example. It has lichen, bacteria, viruses. In parasite, we are going to listen, or we are going to know about total parasite and semi-parasite. In total parasite, which are totally dependent upon host. Host means dead, decaying plant or animal. Or semi-parasite. Semi-parasites are like bacteria and fungi. It is the category of bacteria and fungi. And total parasites, as example of lion, it is totally dependent on other animal for its food. In semi-parasite, we are going to take an example of bacteria. It comes when the animal is dead from a long period of time and decompose it. Now holozoite. Holozoite word came from a Greek word that is zoic, or we can say that the plant or animal that ingest a solid, liquid or gaseous food particle. Now we take an example of holozoite in amoeba. Amoeba, when the food particles came near the amoeba, it engulfs it. So it is a basic example of holozoite. In the binary fusion, we have seen that it divides into two. So to capture this, he raises his fingers from here to angle like this. By this example, we have finished our mode of nutrition. Now we are going to study the second life process, that is respiration. In respiration topic, we are going to learn about the two different type of respiration, that is internal or cellular respiration, or external, or we can say that physiological respiration. Now first we start with internal or cellular respiration. There are two types of internal or cellular respiration: aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic, here we can say that the word aero, aero, which means air. So the respiration which done in the presence of air is known as aerobic respiration, and anaerobic means the respiration which does not involve the oxygen. Now we are going to know about the basic difference in aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So as I told you in definition, so our first point is that aerobic respiration have presence of air, and this type of anaerobic respiration takes place in the absence of oxygen. In aerobic respiration, air is present, so complete oxidation, or we can say that we digest our food properly. And in anaerobic respiration means incomplete digestion of food occurs. Its end product means aerobic respiration end products are H2O means water and carbon dioxide, that is CO2. And in anaerobic respiration, the end product may be carbon dioxide, or it can also be ethyl alcohol. So let's start with the next one, that is external. Now in external respiration, we have three types to know. So basically there is only one difference, that is organ. In aquatic animals there is no nose, it respirates with the help of gills. In terrestrial it exchanges with, in terrestrial animals, or basically in terrestrial plants occurs, so respiration takes place with the exchange through stomata. And now we are going to understand basically about human beings. So in human beings, the air enters through nostrils, or basically the organ is named as nose. Here are present inside the nostrils. So the air we breathe is filtered and goes inside in ribs. When we inhale air, the ribs lifted up and lungs get more space and it contrast, so more air can be get in. In lungs there is a basic part that is known as alveoli. Its spelling is like this: alveoli. The exchange of gas means we inhale oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. So the exchange in us is done with this part, and it's also basically the exchange of gas not occur. The exchange of gas occurs in the blood. This part of our body changes carbon dioxide into oxygen in blood. We have two types of veins, basically arteries and veins, we classified into two, which carries blood. So basically the arteries and veins carry both types, means in arteries and veins oxygenated and deoxygenated blood are carried out. So the exchange of gas is done with the help of alveoli. Now the exchange of gas is completed and the oxygenated blood is transferred by heart through every part of our body. Now when we breathe out, the ribs came down and the lungs contrast and the air moves out. So we have completed the basic part of respiration. Now we are going to start a new topic of life process, that is transportation. So transportation we are going to study in two terms, in terms of animal and in terms of plant. So we are starting with the first term, that is animal. In animal we are going to learn about the mechanism of blood circulation, means to transportation of blood, and components that transfer blood in our body. So let's start with the component of circulatory system. So there are three main components which are required for the circulation of blood in our body, mainly, that is blood vessels and heart. Now we are going to start the first topic, that is blood. Our blood contains of two types of components. First type is blood cells and second one is plasma. Blood cells comprise of three major components, that is RBC, WBC, and platelets. So what are blood cells? As we all know, cell is the building block of every major or minor component that exists or mass in our atmosphere. So blood has also cells. First one is RBC, that stands for red blood cells. Second one is WBC, that is white blood cell, and third one is platelets. Now, what is the function of RBC? RBC stands for red blood cell. As we all know, when our blood carries oxygen, it is red in color, and when it loses oxygen and carries out carbon dioxide, then it becomes green or blue-green in color. So RBC stands for red blood cells. So work of RBC is to transfer the oxygenated blood from heart to major part of our body. WBC stands for white blood cells. What is the work of WBC? WBC stands for white blood cell, and its function is to cure the major accidental harms, or it provides us immunity also. And platelets are seen when there is blood clotting in our body. And what is plasma now? Plasma helps us to transfer oxygen and water to most of the part. So here we completed our blood section. Now we are going to know about the second major part, that are blood vessels. Now we are going to start the second topic of blood, that is blood vessels. In this we are going to know about the three subparts, that is called capillaries, arteries and veins. So what are blood vessels? Blood vessels are the organ, or we can say the part of our body that carries blood from heart to another part of our body. So what are capillaries? Capillaries are the one-celled thin vessels. As we are going to study about the blood vessels, so it is a one-celled thick vessels that carries blood from arterial to veins. So what are arteries and veins? Arteries are carrying out the oxygenated blood from heart to all part of the body, and veins carries out deoxygenated blood from heart to from other part of our body to heart. So next we are going to see about the main function of hearts and the basic knowledge about heart. Now the third one is heart. We are going to know a very much basic about the heart in this video. So what is heart? Heart is a muscular organ that pumps blood to every part of our body. So what is its specialty? As we can say that humans are four-chambered animals. We are having four chambers in heart, two ventricle and two atriums. So what are these two things? Atriums are the upper part of the heart and carries out the thin wall, and ventricle are a small part, or we can say that thick part, and it is situated in the lower part of the heart. Now with the completion of the basic knowledge of heart, we have completed this video. So to watch more videos, please like, share and subscribe our channel Rise and Math Classes. We are going to take the next video of the remaining part of the chapter soon. So till then, thank you and don't forget to subscribe our channel.